Hi, this is Chika with Maryville University, and today I will be doing an abdominal examination. I have Miss Taylor here. Miss Taylor is over the age of 16 and she has volunteered to be my patient for tonight. Prior to this examination, Miss Taylor had emptied her bladder. I have her in a supine position with a pillow underneath to support her head and her neck. I'm going to start off my examination by inspecting the outer part of the abdomen for any skin characteristics. I'm examining for contour of the abdomen and symmetry on Taylor's abdomen. I see it's well-rounded and symmetric on both sides. I'm looking also for any venous pattern where there will be like a pulsation or distension of the veins. I don't see any of that, which will be indicative of a liver problem. I'm also looking for surface motion, and here I don't see any peristaltic movement, which will be more visible in younger people or someone that is skinny. And also on the abdomen, I'm going to have her sit up a little bit for me, halfway. Okay, thank you, and go back down. And so what I'm looking for is I'm looking around the umbilical area for any herniation. I'm looking for any masses. I'm looking for any separation of the abdominal muscles. The umbilicus is midline, inverted. I don't see any bulging or position on the umbilicus. So this part actually concludes the inspection part. I'm moving on straight ahead to the auscultation, and with the auscultation I'm going to use my stethoscope, the diaphragm of my stethoscope. I'm going to listen to all the 4 quadrants of the abdomen. So I'm starting at the ileocecal junction, which is where the bowel sounds are more prominent. So it's right here. I'm going to go down to the right lower quadrant, move up to the right upper quadrant, left upper quadrant, and left lower quadrant. I'm listening for a full 2 minutes on each quadrant for active bowel sounds, and that should range between 5 to 35 bowel sounds per minute. I would listen for a full 5 minutes. In case of an absence of bowel sounds, I'll listen for 5 minutes before I can actually say there was absent bowel sounds. Okay. Also on the auscultation, I'm going to listen over the liver and over the spleen for any rubs or any friction rubs, and listening to Miss Taylor, I don't hear any friction rubs on over the liver and the spleen. Also for auscultation, I'm going to switch over to the bell of the stethoscope. I'm going to listen on the aorta, and so I'm going to listen to the aortic arteries for any bruit. I'm going to listen to the bilateral renal, bilateral iliac, and bilateral femoral until they're absent of bruit, which is a normal finding. Okay. So this actually concludes our auscultation part of the examination. Moving on to percussion. With percussion, I'm listening for the tone of the abdomen. There are 2 distinct sounds you can hear. On the hollow part of the abdomen is tympanic in nature, and so with percussion, I will use my non-dominant hand placed over the area to percuss, and with my dominant finger, the middle one, I'll strike this middle one, going down the 4 regions of the abdomen, listening for that tympanic sound. On the hollow area is usually tympanic. A dull sound can be heard over the major organs of the abdomen, which is the liver and the spleen. And I will also hear it over, like if you had an abdominal mass, which is an abnormal finding, I could also hear a dull area on that side. Okay, so I'm going to palpate the size, estimate the size of the liver with percussion as well. So in estimating the size of your liver, I'm going to go below your right lung here, and I'm going to start percussing for that sound, that dull sound. So I'm going to go down your mid clavicular line, and once I quit hearing that dullness, I'm going to tape it. I'm going to go down to the umbilical area, trace it upwards through that mid clavicular line, and I'm going to percuss from tympanic till I meet the dull sound. I'm going to mark that. So I'm going to measure the distance between the upper border, the superior border of your liver, and the inferior border of your liver, and that should measure between 6 to 12 centimeters. Okay, so that's a normal finding. I'm also going to percuss the spleen, and when percussing the spleen, I'm going to have you, Miss Taylor, if you want to switch over to your left, lie down on your right side for me. Give yourself a hug right there. Thank you. And so I'm going to percuss the liver down the mid-axillary, percuss the spleen down the mid-axillary line. And the spleen should lie between your 6th and the 9th rib area. So here it goes. And you can hear an area of dullness down this mid-axillary line. And if it exceeds the 9th rib area, that would indicate a spleen enlargement, okay? Also on percussion, I'm going to listen for what is called the gastric air bubble. And the gastric air bubble is usually, I will have to go through the left anterior part of the rib cage, the left lower anterior rib cage, and down to the left epigastric. In the middle here, you will hear a dull, low-pitched sound in comparison to the tympanic sounds of the rest of the abdomen. So that's where the gastric air bubble is always usually heard. And then I'm also going to percuss the kidneys, okay? And with that, I'm going to have you sit up a little bit for me. Miss Taylor, thank you. And in percussing the kidney, I'm going to have my non-dominant hand over her left flank right below the costal margin. And I'm going to, with the other hand, I'm going to give a quick sharp tap, and Miss Taylor should feel some pressure. Did you feel any pain when I did that?
No.
Okay, thank you. And so with the normal finding, there should be pressure and there shouldn't be any kind of pain. And so that actually concludes the percussion part of the examination. And the last part of the examination is palpation. You do palpation in two ways. You start off with light palpation. So I'm going to go across the whole region of the abdomen, lightly palpating. And while I'm doing this, I'm looking at Miss Taylor to observe for any facial grimacing, any guarding, any flinching. If there was pain, she would flinch and all that. So I'm also looking for any masses. I'm looking for any muscle resistance. I'm looking for any bulging, okay? So I'm going to follow the light palpation with a deep palpation. I'm going to go down. Let me know if you feel any pain, okay?
Okay.
All right. I don't feel any masses. I don't feel any distension, no bulging or anything of that nature. So that's fine. The other part of palpation is I'm going to palpate the liver. And remember, it's on the right, below the right lung. So I'm going to go right below that right lung, down to 3 to 4 centimeters below the costal margin, and that's where you should palpate the liver. And the liver is usually round, soft, and then you go a little bit deep down is where the gallbladder will be. If I press deep enough, the gallbladder should be right behind the liver. The gallbladder is not usually palpable, but if I can feel your gallbladder, then there is some inflammation of the gallbladder, okay? Which I can also, if I suspect inflammation, I can go down and do what is called the Murphy sign, which I press down and have you take a deep breath. If you're not able to take a deep breath, if there's pain while I press down, that's a positive sign for gallbladder inflammation, okay? And then I'm going to go over to palpate your spleen, which is usually between the right, the left, on the left, between the 6th and the 9th rib area down the mid-axillary. So I'm going to put like a deep pressure. I shouldn't be able to palpate your spleen. If I do, that's an abnormal finding, okay? The spleen is not usually palpable, okay? The other part of palpation that I'm going to do is palpating for the kidneys. So while I'm on the right, I'm going to put my left hand behind your left flank, and with my right hand, I'm going to put upward pressure with left, and with my right hand, I'm going to press down there, right below the costal margin again. Take a deep breath for me. Thank you, Miss Taylor. And I'm pressing down. The right kidney is usually more palpable than the left kidney, and it should feel like a round, soft ball on your hand when you do that. I'm going to repeat the same process on this left side, and the left side should not be easily palpable as well. The last part of the palpation is going to be feeling for the aortic pulsation, and I'm going to go down to the aorta, and it's going to be like slightly left of the midline away from the aorta. And I'm going to do a deep palpation on that. And if I feel that pulsation, if it's very prominent, that will indicate an aneurysm, aortic aneurysm, and it usually measures 2 to 4 centimeters. That's between my thumb and my index finger, okay? Do you have any questions?
No.
Okay, that concludes our examination today. Thank you, Miss Taylor.
You're
welcome.